Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Aapna Reds podcast. This is a podcast that brings you the ratings, reactions, and reviews that you expect from a normal podcast, but a bit of an added masala kick to it, as well as many more surprises for you in store. Today, we'll be looking at Aapna Reds, and we're looking at their game against Chelsea, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Today, to talk about all the action and all the little events that took place, I'm joined by Anil. So, Anil, first of all, how you doing? You all good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all great. I'm happy to be here with you tonight.
That's it, man.
So, first of all, I'd like to get your thoughts on, first of all, the game and how it went for you, and then just sort of your overview of what you felt towards the game itself as well.
I watched it live. Very, very happy with, I suppose, the lineup. The very attacking. I thought, here we go. We're going to get a few goals. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, banging, playing like we expect Liverpool to play. That second goal got denied was a game changer. I'm sure we'll come back to that in a second. After that, once they got their goal back, they got their foot back in the game. It just the tide had changed. It was completely different. It was at times uncomfortable to watch. Positives from it, negatives from it. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it, but overall, I always feel like if we go ahead and we end up losing, not losing, but losing the points that we could have had, always feel a bit disappointed. But in the grand scheme of things, 1-1 away at Chelsea is not bad, not bad. And again, I'm sure we'll come to it, but their team is looking good, man, and they got that manager as well. So 1-1 away, Stamford Bridge, not bad in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's it. Del Toro Thanda ho gaya, so you know what I mean. It wasn't exactly the feeling I wanted at the end of the game, but it was alright. What about you? What do you reckon?
For me, I think the exact same as you. It was a good start. It was sort of, I didn't expect Liverpool sort of to come out the way they did. Looking at pre-season, I was quite concerned. I don't really pay much attention to the pre-season results, but looking at how we played and sort of
did you watch in pre-season?
I watched little pieces here and there, but at the same time, like I remember a few seasons ago where we lost every single game of pre-season, and it was a season that we then went on to win the league. So I thought, well, it doesn't really mean much. But at the same time,
I don't know, man. I tried because I wanted to see what he's going to do with the team after what we had last year. I thought let's watch a pre-season. I watched. To be fair, I watched all of them, and if I didn't watch it live, I watched the highlights. Like you said, though, what can you take from pre-season? They're banging in goals, but against who? And we're letting in goals as well. Yeah. Anyway, go on. Sorry, man, I stopped you. Carry on.
That became clear, didn't it? And I think for me was looking at the squad, it didn't seem settled. Well, obviously, players coming in and out. We'll just go to that first point that you mentioned with the lineup. Personally, I was quite shocked when I saw the lineup, when I saw Gakpo in there. And then when the game sort of kicked off and the formation was a bit different, I was expected to be a 4-2-3-1 with Gakpo in there, but Klopp Mama decided to be a great idea to stick Gakpo in midfield. So did you genuinely think that there was a good sort of attacking choice in there, the lineup?
That's our strength, isn't it? Attacking is our strength. At the moment, weakness is without a doubt defense. We got no CDM. We'll come to that in a second. I thought, you know what? If you're going to put someone under pressure, put them under pressure from the start. Problem is, though, that I think Liverpool are they're a confidence team. When their confidence is high, they'll bang in goals. And when that first one went in, the way they were playing, and then the second one went in, but it was offside. At that point, you could just see they had that taste for blood, and they were going for it. And I think that's when Liverpool play well. As soon as the team gets their foot back in the game, and they're like, step back a bit, I think their mentality goes to, oh shit, here we go again. Here we go again. Let's see if we can ride out the wave. And I don't like that mentality. In terms of the pressing as well, I haven't seen the Jurgen Klopp pressing for a while. And it's not the way it used to be, man, with Mane, Firmino, Salah back in the day when they first used to, gig and press. It's gone. I don't think that's there anymore. But the attacking midfield, the attacking offence, Gakpo, I think, wasn't comfortable there, was he? He played well in bits, but I think he got gassed as well. Would you reckon?
Yeah.
He looked like that time.
I think he struggled in that midfield. I think I was quite surprised to see that it wasn't a sitting two and then him playing in behind. I I think that then came home.
Would you have expected him to go defence?
I'd
Like
expect it to be a 4-2-3-1 with, and that's why I think the lineup was a bit of a thing where you've got Szoboszlai and you've got McAllister in, and the balance seemed a bit off then, that you then had to either put a defensive player in or an attacking player in, or someone in between. And I don't think they had that availability in the team.
What would you have gone with? Who would you have gone with in midfield?
Either leave Gakpo out and then stick McAllister and Jones and then Szoboszlai, or you had to take one of the new signings out and then put Gakpo as the attacking one, and then you'd have to either stick again. Jones seems the only option, or maybe Elliott. It was the either two youngsters, and I don't think he seemed comfortable in bringing them on from the start. So,
here's a take for you. What do you think about this? He's never tried this formation, but go on.
Yeah.
4, 1, 2, and then the strikers. So the 4 being, you got Konate, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Without a doubt, they go into the back 4 without anything. But rather than Trent, put Gomez in there at right back and use Trent as a CDM.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that, I mean, he's tried it in pre-season, hasn't he? I think that's the first game is he played Trent as a 6, and
he played well.
It kind of worked, and it was one of those things where you can tell when Klopp's happy and you can tell when Klopp's not happy, and Klopp's normally happy when he does the same thing over and over again. And
but I'm saying leave Trent out of the attacking. Tell him to do a job as a CDM for a couple of games until we get a new signing. Listen, we know you got great ability. If you find a pass, ping it. But I want you on the line, and basically because he's got pace. He can go. He knows how to defend. He's a defender. For a couple of games, do us a job. I don't know.
I'll get Klopp Mum on the phone. You go Jackals and Gallagher, and you say, "Look, go for Trent and CDM for us."
CDM for 2 games, man. Then again, I know it's against Chelsea away. You can't be making you can't be making decisions like that. But yeah, the formation to me, I was happy.
Yeah.
The people on the pitch, I was happy. I think the way he wanted them to play and the way they ended up playing probably wasn't 100% the way he wanted. Konate kept getting pulled out wide too much. Robertson was struggling out wide too much. I don't think the midfielders had that defensive mind as much as he would have liked, I reckon. Especially the new signings. They played well, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them. But they're not that player, are they? They're not Hendo, Fabinho that we're missing.
Well, ironically, we cussed out the formation. We've sort of nitpicked little elements about the players in the lineup, but we could have been 1-0. Well, we were 1-0 up, and we could have been 2-0 up. So, should we talk a little bit about the first goal? You know, for me, I thought it was a perfect example of Liverpool playing out of the press. McAllister, he struggled in the 6, but he also had great moments in there. The pass out wide to Salah was absolutely beautiful, and then the pass from Salah was just absolutely magical. And I think it just sums up attacking. They can do it all, but there was just very clear and obvious points from then on that playing through the midfield, it works so well. But when it's someone doing it against you, it isn't going to work as well in this Liverpool team. But what did you make of the first goal?
The goal was class. And you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I seen that goal. As soon as I seen in defence, how they were passing to each other, I thought this is going to end up being a goal. And when McAllister had that pass, was just, I know Salah's was the main one that got us the goal, but McAllister's one, not much in here.
It's Klopp. Klopp sent him.
I'm telling you, he's sending his spies here. Trying to watch out, he don't come back to me. Anyway, that pass from McAllister was the one that made the goal for me. I know Salah, via the needle pass, it was a couple of inches off getting, defended away, but that McAllister pass was class. We got that to come. I think we got a lot more of that to come.
Yeah.
Salah, he's there, man. He's still there, isn't he? He's still there, man. Pace, making defenders think what he's going to do, what he's going to do. I expect him to go around him, to be fair.
Yeah.
I expect him to have a foot race with him. So the defender was probably thinking the same thing. And I don't think they expected that pass. That pass was class. And then we got a new Mane, haven't we? We got a new Mane.
I know. Diaz.
You know what I mean? Diaz is there, man. He's got the pace. He's got that not give up attitude, doesn't he? Literally, he'll run into the box full pelt. Same way Mane used to do, but last season before he got injured, he just didn't have that finishing finishing quality. But I think again, pre-season, he's looking good. Scored a goal now, first game. Hopefully, this is looking up now for the future. We'll maybe get a few more goals out of him. That's what we need. We need goals from more than just Salah, who's been our main scorer for God knows how many years now. Nunes needs to score, obviously. What do you think about him not starting?
I wasn't surprised, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he's nowhere near the first team at the moment. I think Klopp has his
Seriously?
favourite. Yeah, I think I always know that Jota's going to start. I've always believed that Jota is our best striker in terms of playing through the middle, just because he's got the fitness, he's got sort of the strength, and his jumping in the box is lethal.
Yeah, well, he was defending, wasn't he, this game?
I know, exactly. So it's one of those things where Nunes it's tough for him. He came on and he showed bright sparks, but I just don't think Klopp's got him in his favour at the moment.
Again, I watched him pre-season. Like I said, we can't take much from pre-season, but
yeah,
him and Salah, they look like they got some sort of relationship for him. So I thought you might have put him up front. I've always thought of Jota, and I don't know whether this is fair, but I've always seen him as a super sub. I've always seen him as someone that, when the defenders are getting a little bit tired, you bring him on and he'll end up getting us a goal. But obviously Klopp's got other ideas.
Problem is, I think he delivered so many times. You got no choice but to stick him up top.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Scores every week,
Yeah, true.
He's sat there on the bench.
I tell you what, absolutely loved it, man. When he was it Enzo? He was getting up in his face.
Argue with Enzo.
I love that. I thought, fair play to you. Fair play. I know he got a yellow card. I know he got a yellow card, but
I think it's
you got to give it to him. I didn't see that. I've never seen that side. I didn't think that
happened because Nunes probably would have put his head a bit more then.
Yeah, true. It would have been. He would have been banned for 3 games.
I know. Great start to the season. But you mentioned as well earlier on about sort of the second goal that we scored that was later disallowed and how that changed the momentum. Why do you think that had such a big impact? You think that Liverpool's tails were up for the first half an hour, and that seeing that we've just scored a goal which has been disallowed, you wouldn't be disheartened by it. You'd think, we're close enough, it's just got to go again. But it seemed that Chelsea just seemed to come out of nowhere against the run of play and just start dominating us.
It's weird psychology, isn't it? Missing out on going 2 up. You've got to feel like, oh man, here we go, we're only 1 up now. There's a mentality of being 2 up compared to being 1 up. And I think when you're 2 up, you're not afraid to have a chance. Yeah. You're not afraid to go for it a bit more. And being 1-0 up, you're still hang on, if they score, we're back to level, which is exactly what happened. And I suppose Chelsea were thinking when the goal was disallowed, all right, we're still only 1 behind. We're still in it. And I think there's that little bit of mentality, isn't it? And I just think when that didn't go in, it was hard worked. And I suppose Salah's probably thinking, oh God, I'm going to try all again now to try and get another goal. I think it's all mentality. It's down to mentality. That is that. Yeah.
Do you think that mentality was having an impact, especially in our defence? I think we talked previously about the defensive issues. Should we just bring them back out on here? That something doesn't seem right in that Liverpool back line, and it doesn't matter who you put in there. It just doesn't seem to be the sort of brick wall that we're so used to.
Well, I'll put a hot take out there. I don't think Van Dijk's as good as everyone makes out. He had that 1 or 2 seasons where he was absolute class. I think last season, nowhere near. I think I don't know if he got injured, and when he got back, he wasn't the same.
Yeah, he had the ACL injury, didn't
he? Yeah. I don't think he's been the same since. He's not. People aren't afraid to go at him now.
No.
He had that whole season where he had like 1 run against him. Not anymore. Everyone's like, okay, he's human.
Yeah.
He's not as confident on the ball as he used to be. Kanate, I like. I like him because he's willing to get in there, and his mentality is, I'm probably going to get the ball off you. It doesn't happen all the time, but I think he's got the mentality there. Van Dijk's more of a drop off. I'll win you in a race. I'll beat you in a race. But I don't know. Being captain now, maybe that's going to change. Maybe he's got a bit more confidence there. I don't know. It's early days, but I'm not sold on his greatness yet. Not recently anyway. And how are you gonna? I don't know, man. How are you gonna let a goal in like between the 2 defenders? You know what I mean? He got headed back in. It's not the kind of goal you expect to be going in. If it was like a through ball that was just class from one of the midfielders that just bypassed both defenders, you can understand it. I don't like the way they gave that first goal away.
Well, we'll talk about that first one. What about the second one? Obviously, that gets disallowed, but same again. It just seems that out of nowhere, the midfield gets bypassed and the defence are just all over the place. Trent just about manages to sort of hold the line, even though he's about 2-3 steps behind the defence. It always seems to be that nobody can hold a straight line at Liverpool.
It's always Trent. It's always Trent. And you know what it is?
Fullbacks. It always happens to either one of the fullbacks.
Yeah. It's always Trent. And I honestly, again, when we won the league, we were so many offsides were given against us. As in not against us, as in like we got the ball back because their player was offside. And that line was straight as anything. But it's not happening, man. I think Trent's got a mindset that he wants to be a midfielder. I don't think he's got defending in his mind. I don't know if Klopp just wants him there because he thinks that's his best position or whether he needs him there. I genuinely think he should give it Gomez. Tell Gomez to be a bit more of a stay behind defender and let Trent be a midfielder because I think he wants it. He just hasn't got that. And don't get me wrong, there are times when he absolutely saves us. He does put in a wicked tackle or uses his pace to get back. And to be fair, you could put Mo Salah in right back and he'd do the same. He'd outpace someone, he'd put a good tackle in, but does that make him a good right back? I don't think so. So, I think that's the weakest point. It's not hard to say that's the weakest point of our defence. The legend, though, already. I'm not going to knock him. I don't want him out of the team. I just want him in a different position.
Yeah. Well, we went into half-time, 1-1, exciting first half. And I thought that, Klopp will set the team and it'll be all right second half and we'll come back out and it'll be sort of more of the same as it was in the early 30 minutes. But the second half just seemed to be really flat. And the most entertaining part seemed to be Mohamed Salah getting all gussa and getting a binga butta when he got told to come off the pitch. What did you make of that? I think people have sort of commented on it and saying it's not good grace. And, especially considering the substitution, you're bringing off one of your best players for two youngsters as well. What did you make of it?
I wouldn't have taken him off.
Yeah.
So I agree with him. The way he came off, I don't agree with. How long he took to come off and like taking his bandages off and whatnot. That was just over the top, man. Didn't get the Klopp hug as well coming off. I don't know if you got blanked or whether he refused it. I didn't really see it, but that's not a good sign, is it? That's never a good sign. I know Klopp played it down. But I'm sure he gave him a couple of chipir when he got back and said, what you on about?
I hope he gave the whole team a few chipir after that one.
I'm telling you, but Salah, I wouldn't have taken him off. I do believe, even if you've got him on till the last minute, he can always bring out some magic and he was on it. And I think that's what he needed. I think Salah needed some new legs in the team to give him some, maybe some space to run into or, give him some new options. Because when the changes were made, there were a couple of chances. And you think if Salah was on him, maybe be a different story, But another day, we'll see what happens. But I'm not a big fan of how he came off, if I'm honest. Yeah. What do you think when you seen it?
I just laughed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it was...
funny or...
Well, he always... You just know, I was shocked to see that Klopp had taken him off. I think that considering, like you said, Nunes and him have such a good relationship, Nunes seemed to... He came in big sparks, but it was also seemed to be dimmed a bit when Salah came off. Doak was really good, don't get me wrong, but to take off Salah is one of those things, and he's never going to be happy when he gets taken off. And I think when you're playing, I'd understand if we were 2-3, 4-0 up and we're playing against, sort of a different side, but against Chelsea at the Bridge, you'd expect your best player to be on the pitch. And I think it was a bit of a strange one.
He's got confidence in Doak.
Yeah.
Is he 17, 18? He's not.
Yeah. Well, he seems to have
quite some pace.
He's
got some pace. He's like a Scottish Mo Salah, isn't he? He's like a...
I know, yeah.
He's that's what he's hoping him to be.
Been eating the same lunches in the training ground while they're saying
yeah. He's playing from that right wing as well, same kind of position, does the same kind of runs. But they must rate him highly, if he's come on quite a few times now. I don't know if he's he'll build himself into the team this season. I don't think he'll be a starter anytime soon. I don't think he's gonna be a starter anytime soon, unless, we get a few injuries like we did a few years ago.
Yeah.
But Jones, I think he had a wicked end to the last season. I don't know why he hasn't just made him part of the team, especially local lad as well. You know, he's gonna. You know, we got this rivalry with Chelsea that we've had since Mourinho took over.
Yeah.
I know there's been about 55 managers since then, but you know, it's still been there, man, since that semi-final Champions League. Playing against Chelsea, you want the players that have got a bit of passion. So I thought Jones would have been on there. By Chetic, when he comes back, I think he might be a kind of player that would, you know, have a bit of fire in his belly in those kind of games. Nunes, I'm a fan of him because of pre-season. So him coming on, I thought maybe, you know, a bit of pace. He had that chance, but the ball coming into him was...
Yeah.
Any chance of him doing an overhead? Rather than him taking it
the
down?
only head he's going to be doing in the game is one of them ones. That's about it. You know, it didn't seem like he...
Shocking, though, innit? Pass was shocking, man.
At his feet, he doesn't seem the most comfortable with it at the moment. I think he played better when his hair came out loose and he was running around like he was...
No, man, he's trying to do a Haaland. He's trying to do a Haaland, see if he can get 50 goals while getting his hair down.
Maybe that's what it is. So just to overall then sum up the game, we'll start a new thing. We'll call it Jabir or no Jabir. Do you think that the Liverpool players deserved a Jabir after this game or not a Jabir? Do you think that it was a point gained or do you think it was 2 points lost?
Different ways of looking at it, isn't it? Different ways of looking at it. You get 1-1 at the start of the game, you're thinking, you know what, we'll take it. You're thinking 1-1 at half-time, you think, nah. You're thinking 1-1 halfway through the second half, you're thinking, oh, you know what, we're getting away with this. So there's different points. Overall, nah, I don't think they get a Jabir this week. I think, it's tough, innit? I mean, like I said, you expect them to win when they're ahead. But that being said, man, it's Chelsea away. Yeah. So, no Jabir for me. What do you reckon?
I think you've softened me there. I think
I'll let you... Were you going to go Jabir first?
Mate, just a tad, but I think that, you know what, I'll give him one of the hot to Jabir. I won't get the Jopal out. I'll just give him, you know, little loved ones, let them know, like, you know, it's not good enough. But I agree with you. I think before the game, if someone said 1-1 opening game of the season, you would take it. I think that over the sort of the span of the game, we were really vulnerable in parts. And I think Chelsea really could have punished us, you know, undeservingly in elements. But I think at the end, you know, 1-1 is you'll take it for first game of the season. You know, I think we learned a lot. I think one of the main...
When was the last time we beat Chelsea anyway? I'm sure the last 3-4 games have been draws anyway.
The first goal in 8 hours of football between.
That's what I mean. So it's,
you know, so it's been
easy looking back. Easy looking back, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, 1-1's not bad. Yeah. And we don't know how they're gonna be. We've got to try and assume that they're gonna be title challengers.
Yeah.
Or top 4 challengers, definitely. So having a point away from home, that's not bad.
Very true. But one thing I think that we definitely learned from the game about both sides is the desperate need for a defensive midfielder. We'll move on to the transfer element of it now, away from the match, because I think that it's been the biggest talking point.
I'm getting bored of it, man. I'm getting bored of it. It's everywhere.
It's awful. So obviously,
what is it now? It's around about after 8:30 on a Monday, and we've got the news that Lavia doesn't want to come to us now either.
So we've lost out.
Chelsea beating us to 2, man.
Yeah, lost out on Lavia just now. What's going on? Because
who's left them?
Nobody. This is the whole question now. To me, it just feels like part of me feels proud because it looks like Liverpool at the top and doing some proper Desi com. You know, you know the way it seems is 1 minute they're splashing the cash and going, "Hello, we got we'll have this."
No. Go back a second. First, they were doing a Desi com saying, we'll pay 48 million. We're not paying 50 million.
This is the whole thing. It just seems like proper Desi com at the top. And I don't know whether to be proud of it that, they're taking a bit of the Desi way or to look at them and go, again, Jabir, and sort it out.
It's a joke because a week ago, they were arguing over £1 million or £2 million for Lavia.
I know.
And then a few days later, they're paying 112 million for Caicedo, being accepted, being rejected.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, how can you put it, man? It's like an arranged marriage where the parents have agreed, they've paid, the dowry, but the wife's like, nah, man, I don't want to go marry him. Oh man, 2 players have just turned around and absolutely Jabir in our face. That's crazy. Has that ever happened before?
Probably in the history of football, yeah, but I think in the
I
context
can't
of
think of I
Liverpool,
can't think of
it's
people
never
turning
really
down
happened.
Liverpool, man. It's normally
I
like,
think
Gakpo
that's the
was meant to
worrying
go
part.
United. When
Yeah,
Gakpo, he's meant to go United. He
yeah, yeah,
turned them down for us. That's what should
yeah,
be happening.
yeah.
That's what should be
Don't
happening.
you think that it's worrying that we've got players like this that we'll move away from the financial element, but more so Liverpool are one of the biggest clubs, not in a biased sense, it's by fact and sort of by cultural awareness. Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in England and in Europe. Is it a concern then that all of a sudden people don't want to come and play for this team and then want to go and play for a Chelsea team that haven't got European football and sort of are in an evolving stage and again already have sort of an inflated squad as well?
Let's put it this way. All right, you're working in Tesco, and someone like, I don't know, Selfridges comes up to you and says, "Look, we want you to come work for us." And then on the other side, there's M&S. All right, both well established, better than Tesco. So you got two options. If Selfridges turn around and say we're gonna quadruple your wage,
Yeah.
and M&S is saying we're only gonna double it, where are you gonna go?
I'm going to go work
Chelsea
in the
are being
Tesco because, God, I want to know which Tesco you're shopping at the job offers that you get here.
you know what? Chelsea are offering stupid wages for 8-year contracts. Who's
Yeah,
turning that down? You get injured tomorrow, you're getting paid 8 years.
very
You know what I
true.
mean? Your career's over tomorrow. You're getting paid stupid amounts of millions of pounds for 8 years.
Yeah.
You're not turning that down. I can understand why the players are going there. If it was exact same money, exact same wages, Liverpool obviously would be your first choice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We've got European football. Chelsea aren't playing in Europe. We've got we've got the history. We're, if I'm honest, we've got the established manager. It's not anything new. You know what you're expecting. You know what kind of football you're playing. With Chelsea, it's all up in the air. You don't know what's going on. So why would you choose Chelsea? The only reason you can think of is London. I mean, if you want to move to the city, have that city life, that's the only advantage you got other than money. So it's got to be money. There's no other reason. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no other reason. I mean that's me as a Liverpool fan saying that. I'm sure Chelsea fans would disagree and say they've got history, but you know what I mean. It's when it comes to these new players, it's all about money, man. That's why we got so many Saudi players in it. It's all about the money.
Well, where do we go from here then? So we've just lost
Saudi.
out.
Let's do the podcast from Saudi. We're getting million pound an episode.
Like, we'll go back to that point then. We've lost out on these two midfielders.
Yeah.
You know, we've lost out on two big midfielders that have been big signings. Klopp said before the summer even started, he had a list and he was going to get every player on that list. We can't complain. Szoboszlai and McAllister were great signings, but the issue that's become forced is the fact that we've lost Hendo, we've lost Fabinho, we've lost Milner, we've lost Ox, we've lost so many of those key midfield players. Again, being English as well, which is another issue. So the homegrown quota is a problem. And now we're at a point where the clubs know that we've got 110 million stashed away in a mattress somewhere
I know.
when we've been haggling over 40s and 50s for the past few weeks. And the market, like Klopp said the other day, is drying up. So where do Liverpool go here? Which league do they look at? Which club do they look at? Or which player do they look at?
I genuinely don't know. I know there was links with some South American kid whose name I don't even know, and I don't even know what.
Andre, yeah.
Who's it?
I think his name's Andre. I think he's from
Yeah,
Flamengo.
God knows. I did a YouTube search and looked at his highlights.
Skills compilation.
I'll be honest, I wasn't that impressed. I was like, I'll play like that on a five-a-side pitch. So I don't know where our recruitment is going wrong, but they're going wrong, man. And I don't know where to go. Where else can we go? I genuinely thought we was going to go Bellingham. If we had 100 million, 110 million to spend, why not just get Bellingham? He would have come for 100 mil.
Yeah.
What did he go to Real Madrid for?
I think it was 100 plus add-ons, but I think it was the wages that were the things that tipped Liverpool over the scale. But then that was before you knew that Hendo was off the payroll and Fabinho was off the payroll. So it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, true. And those departures happened quite quick as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Hendo's a big miss. Fabinho was dropping off a bit, so I can see that. Hendo, you know what, deserves a payoff, man. He deserves a big end of career pay, and can't knock him for going. And it was Gerrard as well. He's going to be chilling with his mate, making loads of money, playing well in the league where he'll probably smash it up. Same with Fabinho. Man, I don't know. I don't know why they were arguing over a couple of million a week ago.
Yeah. And
This
then they
whole
agreed
week
a
is
deal for
just
10 million more. It was 60 million they then agreed.
60 million.
So
Well,
now
got
it's less than
accepted.
Chelsea's.
Got accepted.
Yeah, I know, got accepted, and Chelsea got accepted for less, and he wanted to go to Chelsea in the end. So,
Which makes it worse. I don't think Chelsea were in for him until Liverpool went in for Caicedo.
yeah, yeah,
So Lavia's he was 100% wanting to come to Liverpool a week ago.
just faff
All of
all
a
that.
sudden, Chelsea's coming.
Yeah.
How do they get away with it, man? They are spending so much money. It's ridiculous. Nearly £1 billion since he's taken over. I was like, that's stupid. And don't get me wrong. I know we spend when we need to spend. And we do buy players that are, Van Dijk was 70 plus, keeper was 70 plus. And I think Klopp spends it when he knows it's going to make a difference. So 110 plus for Caicedo, he must have thought this guy's the bollocks.
Yeah.
So, but where do we go now? Who else is there? Who are the CDMs in the Premiership that we could poach?
I don't think they're going to look in the Prem. I think the only thing that they've always said is they're looking at Real Madrid, that Valverde and Tchouaméni, but it's one of those
turned around
things.
and said he's not leaving.
Who?
I mean, I'm sure on his Twitter or something, he said, I'm staying at Real Madrid.
Tchouaméni, yeah, like a tweet a few weeks ago. Valverde, they went in for last summer and it got rejected. They've always been, big fans of him. I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a good sort of player, but you just need someone who's going to sit. And as good as Valverde is, he's a box to box. I think he's wasted if you tell him to sit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the problem that you've got is being able to sit is such a lost art in football. And it seems that you sort of take it for granted. If you notice your CDM, it means that they've done something wrong, is what the greats say. So
maybe that's why they're worth so much. I think that's why they're worth so much. You know what I mean? They're hard to come by.
And it's the wrong strategy trying to buy CDM when you've seen the likes of Declan Rice go for 100 million as well. So it becomes a big issue. Do you think as well that the midfield department's the only area that needs strengthening? Do you think we need a right back, centre half, any other positions?
Only if we were going to move Trent into midfield, then I'd say we get a right back. Centre backs. I mean, who are our backups? Matip and there was a kid during pre-season that looked good. I don't know. I can't remember his name. A really young lad. He looked really good with his feet. So that's maybe one for the future, but not right now. Yeah, possibly. What do you think of Tsimikas as a backup to?
I mean, I think Tsimikas on his day is unreal. I think he goes on par with Robertson. I think I'm more surprised that he hasn't had longer stints in the team, thinking of Robertson's sort of decline.
So in terms of left backs, you're happy with the left backs? Right back Gomez then, who's, I suppose...
I think the fact that the only sort of rumours that have come out and sort of the interest that's come out has been in the right back position when it comes along the back line tells me that they aren't confident in Gomez being there. I think they looked at Pavard and they looked at a few others as well. I think the biggest issue for me is you're looking at other clubs doing such shrewd business and you think that that's what Liverpool used to do, so why aren't we doing that? For me, Livramento, right back from Southampton, going to Newcastle for 20, 30 million. English as well. Why not, risk a chance on him? Harvey Barnes going as sort of an attacking player. Maddison, another one. James Ward-Prowse going. They're players that fit the quota. Yes, their age might be an issue, but I think that's one of the things now that doesn't really matter when you're
I wonder if he just sorts the quota out by bringing through the youth and putting them in the squad. And maybe by running them out, you think about it, you got Harvey Elliott, you got Jones, you got Trent, you got Doak. He's got a few that are, I suppose, becoming regular first team players. Robbo counts as well. Is it UK or is it just England? It's UK, isn't it?
Trained in England. So like Kelleher counts, for example, and like Bajcetic will count as well. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's why I think that's how he goes about that. I just don't know, man. I don't know where we go now, especially with Lavia saying no now. This next week's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Do you think I think there's been rumours about Klopp being unhappy sort of in the context of the club. I think we know that there's quite a few issues above him. And it seems that it doesn't matter how much he begs, he's not getting his way, as often and as soon as he wants it. Do you think he stays the course of his contract till 2024, or do you think that he goes after this season?
There's not long left, is there? Oh, did he extend it to? Was it just 24? Was it 26?
6, yeah.
If we don't make top 4, I'd keep him.
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
just, you know what I mean? As a fan, we're never sacking Klopp. No chance. No chance. If we haven't got Klopp in our management with this team, we're Tottenham last season or we're Chelsea last season. You know what I mean? Klopp is the only one keeping this ship above water at the moment. So no, I don't want him to go. Whether he stays himself, that's going to be the difficult one. If the way that these transfers are, making us look stupid, he might just turn around himself and say, you know what, I've had enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want him to go. I would never want him to go.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't, man.
we won't think about that.
I'm getting ducky, man.
You mentioned that it's a big week ahead. We'll sort of look now ahead to next week. Playing Bournemouth, they made a good few signings. They got a draw as well in their opening game. So what do you think happens this week? Do you think we get a DM in? Do you think that we just end up running with the same sort of team? How do you think we approach the Bournemouth game? And how do you think we line up on the day as well?
I think he'll probably do the same team. He'll probably do the same team. It's probably something he's working at and he wants to see how it works. Mm-hmm. Bournemouth at home crowd, first game, new stand. I think he'll go all out. We're not too bad at Anfield, are we? We're not too bad. I'd like to see a change to formation, but I don't think he will. I think Klopp, he quite likes his certain players and certain positions, and he likes working on certain positions, and he likes pushing.
Do you think Gakpo plays in midfield next weekend?
Yeah, I think pre-season and just generally, I think he likes the way Gakpo plays. Yeah. I don't think he's got the stamina to do it for the whole game, though.
Not in that 10 position or in the 8.
Nah. He was running. He was gassed. He was gassed a bit. So I think he likes him as a number 10. Mm-hmm. I think he wants it. He wants him as a Firmino. I think.
Yeah.
He wants him as someone who will handle players, but he hasn't got that fire in his belly to do that, and I don't think he's got the stamina yet. He's been here now since January. He should really be up to scratch, but he's not quite there. Mm-hmm. But I do think he likes him. Maybe bring Núñez in instead of Jota because he had a knock, didn't he?
Yeah,
he had a bit of a knock. So that might be a bit of a reason to just keep him out for a little bit, just to make sure you don't push it and get him injured. Who else? Yeah, Salah's obviously going to start. Diaz is going to start. I think he's a starter all the time. The 2 new lads are going to start. They look like they were probably the best 2 players on our team. And then you got the back 4, which is just concrete, man. It's always set. So yeah, if you are going to change someone, I'd probably say Núñez coming in for Jota. It'll be the only change we see, but we'll see.
Do you have any big concerns for Bournemouth?
Typical Liverpool fan here. I'm not. I don't really know much about Bournemouth, but yeah, they had a good season last season, didn't they? They weren't too bad. I never get concerned with Liverpool games at Anfield. Mm-hmm. It's more you're just disappointed after if they don't batter the teams, because it's a fortress, and every team that comes there, they're in awe and they just crumble under the pressure, under the noise. So home games, I'm not that too nervous about, but we'll see. But I'm confident. We'll get 3 points on Saturday.
Well, I reckon you've Klopp a call beforehand and say if they do a good job against Bournemouth, we note your beard and they can have some samosas as well. Cheer them up.
It, man. Imagine that. That should be the reward in it at the end of each game.
That or a mixed grill. Take it for a mixed grill.
Oh man. I tell you what we need to do. We need to do the podcast from a mixed grill place, man. We'll sort that out. We'll start doing it from there.
We'll get the Liverpool players and we'll go for a mixie with them.
That's it, man. That's it.
If only had Milner, mixie with Mac. Oh, mixie with McAllister, mixie with Milner.
Mixie with Mac. I'm Max Grill. Max Grill.
Just
no, man. Good signings, though, isn't it? Good signings, though. They're good signings.
I think.
I wasn't a big fan of signing McAllister. The geezer just won a World Cup. What's your motivation? What's your motivation? So, but fair play to him. He's played well. He's played very well. So I can't knock him. Sobersley, young lad, a lot
He's
of
very
what's the
talented. I
word?
mean,
Looks
his
like he's
set
got
piece is
passion.
good, and
Yeah, he's got. It looks like he's
moves
got
well.
passion. It looks like he wants to do well.
Yeah.
He wants to show off his skills. So that's always good. That's always
Yeah.
good. Let's just hope the team ethos rubs off on everyone else, and everyone just gets back to that old press, press, press. Don't let the team breathe. You know what I mean? Beating Arsenal 4-0 in the first half. That kind of mentality, man. Get ahead so far ahead that the team's like, you know what? Let's just defend and not get embarrassed.
Mhm. Do you reckon that that's what we're going to have to do this season? I know that Carragher was sort of talking about it, that it's that old school Liverpool of you had to score as many goals because you couldn't defend. Do you
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
that should be the
That's
approach
what it is.
until they
That's
figure
what
it
it
out?
is.
Yeah.
Would you be 100% confident with our back four? Let's say our defense had the best attack in the world coming towards them. How confident are you?
I think it depends on who's in front of them. The way I see it is the back line always, you could have put whatever in that back line, but it was always who was in front of them. Even the
Mhm.
season where we lost our centre half, it was always problems when Fabinho or Henderson wasn't in front of them. And I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the issue now is you need someone in front of them to sort of mop up the dirty work, but also sort of give that solid triangle base in the middle. And I think that at the moment they don't have that, and you can just tell it's just all over the place.
It's crazy though, isn't it? You think that one player is going to make a massive
Yeah,
difference. What
yeah.
if that player gets injured? We're going to go back to this. He needs to figure out a way to play without.
Such a wonderful thing. If you look at City, for example, when Rodri's out or when Rodri
Yeah,
came in, for example, City was still an unbelievable
yeah,
team
yeah. Of
before
course.
that. But when
Yeah,
Rodri came in, it just changed everything because then you've seen Pep and his tactical changes. Is now Stones can come into midfield and Rodri can drop in, and then you've
yeah,
got wing backs who are playing like attacking
yeah.
midfield. Like
But they play to keep the ball. I don't think they play to look for attack.
Mhm.
Liverpool play to look for attacks.
Yeah,
I don't ever see them just knocking the ball about. Just keep it comfortable. Let the other team get a bit bored chasing the ball. I don't see that. Although Klopp always goes on about possession, possession, possession. We didn't have the most possession. We were struggling yesterday at times. Not yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday. But yeah, possession play is the ideal. Obviously, Pep has changed the game in terms of how teams need to play and how
yeah,
they dominate. We have got players that can counter. We have got players that can run off, decent balls in. But can you imagine our front three just knocking the ball about and keeping it? Like genuinely.
it'd be nice if sometimes they did it.
Yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
don't think it's in their DNA, like you said.
That's what I mean. I don't think our front three would be happy to knock it to each other and just pass it about and then pass it to the midfield and midfield go back. I don't think they're happy doing that. I think they're one track minded. They're literally there's a gap. Quick, quick, quick. Get the ball in. And I think they need to get away from that. Just be comfortable on the ball. Be comfortable on the ball. Play it around and see what happens. Let the
Yeah.
gaps open. Don't try and force the gaps. Let the gaps open. But you know, easy said, innit? Easy said.
But with all this in mind and the optimism that clearly you've got, how do you think then score prediction for next Saturday against
All right,
Bournemouth?
here
What
we
do you think?
go. We're getting free. We're getting free.
I was going to go for 3 as well.
We're gonna go free. Minimum free. So definitely getting free.
Is that them scoring 4 like they did a few seasons ago?
Free. How many are they scoring at Anfield? Nah, I'll go 3-1. I reckon they'll get one. I'm not 100% confident with our defense. I think they'll leak one, but I reckon we'll get 3 at home.
Yeah.
Maybe more, but I'll go 3-1. Prediction 3-1.
Any particular goal scorer?
What's your prediction?
Mine's the exact same as yours, 3
Is it
1.
3-1?
Yeah, I genuinely think
3-1.
it'll be a 3-1, to be fair. I think
All
maybe
right.
a 2, and it'll be they score first and we sort of pull a 2. But I think at Anfield, like you mentioned, I think it'd be a bit more, sort of composed. 3-1 seems like about right score.
I'm gonna go with 3 separate goal scorers. I'm gonna go
Oh,
Salah, Nunez, and Diaz.
that's all right. That'll be good for my FPL then. I'll be happy with that. Salah
Yeah.
gets a goal and a few assists in there. Yeah, I agree. I think that Salah gets on the goal score sheet. I think one of the midfielders, maybe Szoboszlai gets in there. And then I reckon
Well,
Diaz
yeah. You're a
probably gets
Soboslai,
on
fair
as
enough.
well.
And Diaz, yeah.
I think
Or
me
unless Salah gets sold to a Saudi league for 60 million.
don't manifest it.
Don't
Don't
write it
put it
off.
out into the
Don't
universe.
write it off, man. Don't write it off. You never know. Especially after him walking off. You know what I mean? Every one of
Well,
those bandages he took off was worth 10 million.
well, you better be tracking all the flights out of Liverpool now, then, and where they're going, just to make sure that you haven't made it come true.
Nah, man. Nah. He's a legend, man. He's gonna stay till like a
Yeah.
Hendo age where he's like ready to retire and he's no good anymore. But he's top of his game at the moment. We can't be selling him. Not now. Not at his peak.
I think we
And
need him more than ever now.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Well, Anil, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed
Yes,
it as
man.
much as I did. And
No, it's good,
hopefully
man. It's
next week we've got the full squad available and they haven't all been sent off to the Saudi League, or
good. Yeah, man.
hopefully as well we've got a few more players. I highly doubt it, but hopefully we do. So thank you
Yeah.
everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for listening.
See
And
you
we'll
next
see you
time.
next week for the next edition of the Aapna Reds podcast.